You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes. I am Matt Burns, and with me is JB, also known as John Bloor.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, we have got a bit of a, less subjecty episode, but we've got some discussions to cover. And the odd thing about it is, this week, it's a little bit of a difference, but one of the main later subjects will cover the reason why. However, this episode will cover in regards to just some of the topics that we're going to be covering. It's probably going to be like UKWA, the UKWA, what's going to happen, about something to UKWA, WrestleMania, Hall of Fame, NXT Takeover Tampa Bay.
Yeah, one of the subjects is linked to all of these things.
Yes, which will the follow-up, and we're going to be discussing about the pandemic, I believe it is.
I believe that's the technical term, yes.
Yeah, that is ongoing. Issue, the pandemic issue, and we're going to be talking about the future of the Burning Truth as well. Going forward. So lots to talk about there. All sort of kind of interlinked as best we can. Yes, but that aside, we have got to get the audio disclaimer. Would you like me to speed it up this week?
If you so wish.
I'm just thinking I'll speed it up to some of the technology, basically using the basic speak, and you can add your razzle dazzle into it. How's that sound?
I think that's okay.
Okay, right. Basically, we've got an audio disclaimer because some of the topics that we will be discussing may be unsuitable for younger listeners, and some people may find offensive, possibly. It's just an audio disclaimer, and some of the language that we do use may be unsuitable for younger listeners, and some people may find offensive as well. Also known as, would you care to?
The following content is not suitable or... Okay, hold on. It's all right. Cut that. We're not live. They can erase it. It's fine.
Wait, we are live.
Yeah, I know. Nothing I can do now. Right, let's take two.
Calm down, Sid Vicious.
Where the hell are we again? Right, let's try again. The following program may contain discussions on subjects which will lead to language which is not suitable for younger viewers and potentially language which is not suitable for those of a nervous disposition. This program may also contain strobe lighting effects.
Right
here in Madison Square Garden. Sorry, what?
That would be his one per list.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to squeeze that in. I had to borrow a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's his one per week. He has to squeeze in the strobe lighting effects. But anyway, that aside, we've got plenty to talk about. As we've said, we've got. I'll tell you what. We'll just get straight into it.
Yeah. Let's try our best not to prevaricate like we normally do. Let's just go straight in. What are we starting with? Oh, we could go straight in if I'd got my teeth in.
We are going straight into UKWA.
The UKWA, also known as the UK Wrestling Alliance, the wrestling company part owned by a Mr. M. Burns.
Correct. And going forward, a lot of people have been asking, oh, when's your next show? When's your next show? When's your next show? When's your next show? In regards to what's currently ongoing. Now, what I'm going to have to say right now is I could make it official right now if needed be, but it wouldn't be fair to anybody who's on social media or who doesn't listen to us, who's fans of UKWA but may not hear it on here. So what I am going to say is do keep an eye out on the UKWA social media, as there will be a post going out during next week in regards to the future of future shows and what is going on.
And then specifics regarding to the next show. And just generally, yeah, like you say, what's happening. Basically, all the questions everyone's been asking will hopefully be answered.
Hopefully answered, and possibly even a link provided. So if there is any further questions or anything to further discuss, it will be all provided in said social media post that will be going across all of the UKWA social media. Just to point that out.
That's cool. So we're not giving anything away now, like I say, because not everyone who's a UKWA fan, sadly, listens to The Burning Truth. So you might not hear it here now. So it seems silly to exclusively reveal here. So keep your eyes and ears peeled across all UKWA social media for announcements as and when they are determined.
With one exception of social media, it won't be up on YouTube, on the UKWA YouTube.
Oh, okay.
That's the only exception.
Yeah, fair enough.
Going forward, we're now moving on. We're going to be discussing WrestleMania, WWE Hall of Fame, and NXT TakeOver Tampa Bay.
Yes. WrestleMania, the Hall of Fame, and NXT TakeOver Tampa Bay. Going ahead, although not as originally planned, postponed and cancelled, respectively.
Well, WWE Hall of Fame and NXT TakeOver Tampa Bay has been...
Well, in the case of the Hall of Fame, they're still getting inducted, and they'll probably do videos, in isolation, which I'd imagine they'll use to fill the TV time on Raw and SmackDown.
I don't think that's the idea. There has been talk for the WWE Hall of Fame of being pushed along towards SummerSlam.
That would also work.
Possibly. But
assuming that SummerSlam happens, yes, that would make a lot of sense.
Assuming it does, it all depends on the future. If not, I can possibly see an alternative where videos are going out.
Yes.
As for NXT TakeOver Tampa Bay, that has... Well, NXT TakeOver, we'll just say. The fact that it's in Tampa Bay has been most likely cancelled, that segment, but the actual NXT TakeOver has been most likely postponed to possibly another night, or could be just part of a regular episode of NXT, possibly behind closed doors.
Much like all of WWE's programming is having to be now.
Behind closed doors, including WrestleMania. Now, speaking of WrestleMania, there has been speculation. Is it at the same, at the Performance Center? Yes and no, because they're actually running it on 2 days.
It's going to be over 2 days. The speculation is going to be at more than one location, which implies that it might possibly be at Full Sail as well as the Performance Center.
Potentially, and there's also talks of possibly having some vignettes, videos as such. And there has been talks of possibly big surprises in regards to WrestleMania.
Well, you mean bigger surprises than there's going to be no crowd? It's hosted by the North American equivalent of Vic and Bob, e.g. incredibly famous in their home territory, but everyone outside of said place will be scratching their heads going, who's that? And it's going to be over 2 nights. If that's not enough of a surprise...
Which would be the Gronk.
Old Mark and Lard radio catchphrase now.
He is a a former American football player. He is actually one of the newest signees for WWE, I believe.
I'm aware of who he is. I remember his much unwanted interference in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that Mojo Rawley won a few years ago.
He's not liking that now. Oh, wait till we get to Rumor Corner.
Anyway, yes, that is the only reason I've heard of him. Let's just put it that way.
What I do find so shocking is because they've got him basically coming out, the Gronk. Mojo Rawley changed back.
Sorry?
Mojo Rawlins had a complete character swerve.
Yes.
He's gone from, I'm serious, take me serious, to, get hype! Huh?
Well, he's completely reverted to how he was when he was first in NXT.
He's basically reverted back to what he was when he first arrived.
Interesting.
I'm wondering if WWE just went, this idea that we got from Mojo Rawlins? Scrap it, we're done. It's not working.
Yes, possibly.
It's not working. Let's just carry on. Let's just move on. But anyway, that aside, right? We can forgive that. But anyway, it's happening over 2 weeks. The Gronk is the host.
Jesus, 2 weeks? I think you mean 2 days.
2 days.
What is his actual name?
I'm just calling him Gronk. I think
I refuse to, on the grounds that it sounds too much like The Rock, and he's not fit to lick the boy who cleans The Rock's boots his boots.
Well, Rubicon is going to be very interesting.
Apparently so.
It's going to be very, very interesting.
It'd be it's kind of like the equivalent of if they knowing full well to a prime American audience that 98.9% of the people who are watching would be like, who? And 95% of them wouldn't care. It's a bit like if they did an NXT UK takeover as part of the Tampa Bay weekend and got Raheem Sterling to host it.
Right. In case anybody wants to know who we're on about, his name, it's Rob Gronkowski. He's an American football tight end.
Yeah, like I said, it's the American equivalent of Raheem Sterling. He plays the American national sport. He's a massive hero there, but outside of his own shores, not so sure anyone knows who he is.
He's also a football analyst for Fox Sports. He played for the New England Patriots, but he retired in March 2019. Right. He's basically what?
I was just saying. Now we know who he is.
Right. Well, if you want his full names, Robert James Gronkowski.
Lovely.
Is that are you happy with that? Right. Well, anyway,
that
aside, we could discuss matches and go into great detail.
But frankly, since we don't actually know what's going to happen, and since we know over 2 nights behind closed doors, bit of an anticlimax, we'd quite like a little bit of surprise to be left. So let's not discuss individual matches. Let's just see what happens.
But we will have to discuss some of them in the Rumour Corner.
Rumour Corner sounds like it's going to take up most of the show at this rate.
It may do.
Right, so in that case, we better move on to the next topic that isn't Rumour Corner and plough through, because
sadly we've got to go straight to Rumour Corner.
Oh, if it is the next topic, what a lovely link. How convenient. And I didn't even plan that. Beautiful.
Exactly. But anyway, we know the matches. Rumour has it that Goldberg and Roman Reigns will be main eventing the Saturday WrestleMania, whereas Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre will be main eventing the Sunday night. Now, this is something that's been in Vince McMahon's mind. Let's have WrestleMania for 2 days. Because for how long we've been doing it for, it's not good enough. People's brain span breaks after so many hours.
Yes. Finally, Vince McMahon gets something right.
Right,
2 hours of pre-show and 5 hours of WrestleMania is too fucking much.
And he says that while still having 3 hours of fucking Raw.
The irony is not lost on any of it. Well, except Vince McMahon, perhaps.
No kidding.
Yeah, but anyway, the point being, if WrestleMania turns out to be 6 or 7 hours, let's say 3.5 hours a night over 2 nights, instead of 5 in one go, do you know what? I think that's better. Right. Ideally, it should be about 2.5 hours each night, just literally half a card each night, and they shouldn't drag it out. But when have WWE ever been able to resist the temptation to drag something out?
And the most likely are with the Rumour Corner that we're on. Because guess what?
What is the next rumour that we have got to deal with?
Next rumour is the fact that The Rock may be opening the show on the Saturday.
Interesting.
Simply because the Gronk, yes, he is an American, well-known in America. He's not known worldwide.
No. However, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is. Therefore, if WWE have got any seriousness about this, the opening segment of WrestleMania will be The Rock putting the man who desperately wants to be The Rock, because he's abbreviating his name in a similar way, through a dog shit laden table, and that'll be the last we see of him, and The Rock will handle the hosting for the rest of the show.
Sadly, the rumour has it The Rock's going to be having a match against possibly either Elias or, as you call him, Baron Boring?
Yep. Well, hopefully it's Elias, because then, shortly before the bell rings, rock bottom, 1, 2, 3, thanks for coming, we might get a rendition of SmackDown Hotel.
No, the idea being is whoever he's against is going to be in, done, out.
Yes. Because if it's good enough for The Undertaker,
it's good enough for The Rock, who's done it.
Exactly.
Who's already done it.
Which actually worries me immensely for one other match on the card, which could also go down similar, short, swift route.
Anyway, pushing that aside.
There are more rumours? Oh my god, now what?
Right. Pushing that aside, I hope it's Baron Corbin that gets flattened and killed off. Move on. I don't want Elias because they just recently turned him face. Why the fuck would you turn him heel?
That's a good point. I hope it's Karen Boring as well, because frankly, he needs to be buried and taken off TV and have his character overhauled massively.
Right. Moving on from that rumour. Next rumour.
Yep.
The Gronk could be in a match.
Please, whatever entity you happen to believe in as the all-knowing supernatural being, no.
Against the returning... Who did he cost?
Against the returning, whoever he cost the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah.
But that was like 5 years ago, so you can't seriously expect to remember who that was. Hold on. Oh.
Jinder Mahal.
Yes, welcome back, Jinder. You're jobbing to a footballer now. Piss off.
Pretty much.
Wow, if anyone ever needs to just basically follow Matt Hardy's lead, it's that guy.
Right, moving on.
Yes, okay, next rumour?
Next rumour is the fact that we potentially do have an Andre Battle Royal, and that there is somebody who's returning who could be most likely the favourite to win it.
Really?
Yes. And as when he does win it, he could be going onto the SmackDown side to take on Roman Reigns. To get fed to Roman Reigns. which will most
Oh,
likely
so
be
it's someone who's going to get a brief elevation only to get fed to Roman Reigns. So it's not an actual legend then.
no.
Hang on, I'm just trying to think of people who are on the injured list who are
Nope.
just coming. Oh,
Nope, not injured list.
well, who haven't been about for a while. Oh God, it's not Samoa Joe, is it?
No, it would be none other than Alberto Del Rio.
Seriously, is the work in Mexico dried up?
Rumor has it that there's been talk of bringing him back. The question is, are they going to have him come back, actually utilize him, or are they going to have him back, not give him much, or
Is he basically going to do what he did last time he came back? Hey, look, I'm back. I've won the second string title. Oh, look, I'm losing to everyone again. Bye.
no
Or is
idea.
his return actually going to mean something?
I think I think the rumor has it is he's going to come back, win the Battle Royal Memorial, yay, get fed to Roman or Goldberg.
Lovely.
Right. So, or most likely Roman, because the idea is, anyway, moving forward. There's talk of it either being Roman or Goldberg winning the match. There isn't no speculation because regardless of it, if Goldberg wins, he's potentially going to go into a feud with somebody from NXT.
Goldberg
Yes.
with somebody from NXT
Yes.
who's currently a little bit busy being one half of the tag team champions.
Yes.
Because Brock Lesnar said, "Not on your goddamn life."
Yes.
WWE, nothing if not tiresomely predictable. Bro.
Yeah. Would you care to fully name them?
Matthew Charles Edward Riddle III.
Yeah. None other than Matt Riddle. And on the flip side, Roman Reigns feuding with the returning Alberto Del Rio. That is the speculation.
Good Lord. So seriously, so far, we have got 4 potential matches that could go less than a minute.
It's getting worse. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
And, oh no, that includes one that we haven't mentioned yet.
It's getting worse. It's going to get worse. Trust me. Right. Edge versus Orton.
Oh, God.
This one I'm actually looking forward to simply because we could be getting more than one return in this match.
Well, look, if Edge's neck is actually up to it, that's fine. But that still doesn't mean I think it's a good idea.
True, which is why they're going to keep Randy Orton looking strong, but possibly because they might even have some people make an appearance, aka
Christian and Rhino.
And Christian, not Rhino.
Okay.
Rhino's with the Impact Wrestling, remember?
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. Move on to the next segment.
Is there more rumours? Or are we done?
2 more.
God. Does one involve the match I'm looking forward to least?
Which one?
Because it's part-time Mr. I Really, Really Want to Be The Rock and his yearly return to bury the person who really can't do with another burial.
I actually forgot that 3. Right. Cheers for the reminder. Right. I'll get onto that one straight away. Rumour has it that The Undertaker is going to be coming back for WrestleMania against AJ Styles. But it's not going to be the Dead Man.
The character that Mr. The Undertaker himself always hated.
Rumour has it, it's not him who hated it, it was Vince who hated it. It's actually potentially going to be the American Badass coming back.
No, I'm saying the Dead Man, the original version of The Undertaker, is the one The Undertaker hated. He preferred being the American Badass, but Vince hated that, which is why it got cut short.
Rumour has it he's coming back as the American Badass.
Lovely. I wonder how loudly the motorbike is going to reverberate around an empty arena.
And the reason being is because the fact of AJ's pot shots he's been doing over the couple of weeks. I've heard of hitting. Yeah. Hitting a sore subject.
Oh, AJ has had lines written for him by the creative department with the full approval of The Undertaker, I would imagine, that are
And
a
his
little bit
wife.
tetchy.
And his wife.
Ouch.
What was it? Called his wife a gold-digging tramp.
Pretty standard WWE fare, that.
And that he's actually going to fulfill her wish by retiring The Undertaker, putting an end to him.
Yes, because she can't stand the fact that he's so busy with his hectic travel schedule of three matches a year.
No. The fact that she's actually making him do it to earn the paycheck so she can get whatever she wants. Let me guess.
Does anyone else think this has a distinct whiff about it of, I had to put up with this shit when Samoa Joe was doing it to me. Damn it, I want the boot to be on the other foot now.
Yeah.
And guess what? As good as Joe is at that kind of psychological crap, it was shit then and it's shit now.
I actually thought Joe was better at it. No. Joe was really good at it. But then again,
Joe is really good at that.
The person who was better at it is also is going to be mentioned on the Rumour Corner. Anyway.
The king of psychological mind warpery, you mean?
Well, we'll talk about it. But anyway, point being is rumour has it that he's going to be coming back as the American Badass, which is going to be interesting because especially as Taker hasn't been coming out to the dead man, he's been coming out almost as himself. And the fact that he's been calling, and the fact that you've got AJ breaking the fourth wall by literally calling him Mark.
Bong. Sorry. Yeah. That was a tumbleweed, but it hit the Undertaker's gong accidentally.
Yeah. Anyway, point being is, I'm interested in seeing where this goes, personally.
I'm slightly more interested in this than I am in the biggest squash of the whole night.
However, it could drastically change after the match because somebody else might make a return and make a challenge to The Undertaker for SummerSlam.
What, Mayor Glenn Jacobs?
No. The dream match. That never happened. Sting.
Okay, because I was just running it through my head then. Undertaker versus Stone Cold, no, that happened. Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan, no, that happened. I couldn't think of who it was. But yeah, fair enough.
Sting, which is going to be very, very massively interesting. However, I personally feel as though it should be WrestleMania, but never mind. Anyway, moving on.
Are we getting to the ultimate jobbing someone out who really doesn't deserve it corner now?
Not yet.
Oh.
Rumour has it that Miz and Morrison are going to be doing a challenge that they need competitors against them for the tag team titles. At the moment, they've set up for it to be Daniel Bryan and stated that if, the fact that Daniel Bryan could end up getting an Intercontinental Championship match and also Finger could get one, if Shinsuke, if he can beat Shinsuke, his tag team partner could beat, Shinsuke Nakamura, because guess who Daniel Bryan's tagging with?
Does it make logical sense based on the last few weeks and months of television, or is it someone completely random?
It's someone I actually damn well fucking predicted.
Is it some complete and utter random that makes no sense whatsoever, or is it Drew Gulak?
Drew Gulak.
Good. Logical storytelling there.
But rumour has it that I can see Gulak getting the win, and what's going to happen, they'll put Gulak in the match, but not Daniel Bryan.
Okay, why?
Because they're going to make him fight for it, and he's not going to win. But he's going to egg on Gulak to go for the Intercontinental Championship. Because
Currently
Daniel...
held by Sami
Sami
Zayn.
Zayn. Yes.
Yes.
However, Daniel Bryan could be busy at WrestleMania. He could be challenging other champions. Notice what I said there.
More other champions, plural, as in more than one.
As in the tag team champions on SmackDown. Miz
I
and Morrison.
see.
And
busy night. I mean, I know the guy's a workhorse, but that's ridiculous.
if he does go for the tag team champions, the rumoured person that he is going to be tagging with
is not Drew Gulak.
Not Drew Gulak. And why the fuck are they doing this in a fucking empty arena show?
Why are they doing it at all, by the sounds of that rant? But no, I genuinely don't know. Who?
No. Save when the crowd's damn well back. Because that will be fucking over it.
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
It's somebody who's returning, possibly. Because he has stated there is interest if certain people are involved. He has got an interest in it. And it'd be a great way to break him back in, tagging with Daniel Bryan. Because these guys can actually tag and would look more of a natural fit than Daniel Bryan and Gulak.
Really?
Yes.
Right, okay, no, I'm racking my mind and brains, and just tell me, because I can't think who you're talking about.
Former World Heavyweight Champion. Former wrestler of ROH.
Jay Lethal?
Nope.
Oh, you mean WWE World Heavyweight Champion formerly, not ROH?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But he has been ROH champion as well.
You don't happen to be out into the realms of far-fetchedness here, do you?
We are talking somebody...
You're not talking about Charles Montgomery, are you?
Nope. We are talking... But right initials... with Charles Montgomery.
Yes, Charles Montgomery are the initials of his first two letters, which don't actually have any attachment to the meaning.
Correct.
And his surname is a type of music.
Correct. Rumour has it he's making a return.
Yeah, because that's not going to happen.
Rumour has it that and there has actually been posts of him actually stating he has got an interest in returning.
Yes, but something
and
tells
he has stated it on the show that he talks about wrestling. About
the one that MSNBC or whatever the hell they are.
Yes.
The one that they hire him for.
Yes.
Okay.
There is talk, and Vince McMahon is doing everything in his power to potentially get him on board.
Whilst at the same time publicly going, no, it's never going to happen. It's nonsense. We hate him, remember?
In case anybody hasn't figured it out.
We're talking about the man with the longest WWE Championship run of the last 25 years.
Of the modern day.
Yeah.
CM Punk.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. Right.
So, yeah. Can we talk about the biggest absolute dreadful nonsense of the whole WrestleMania now weekend?
Last one.
Yeah.
Last rumour. And it's to do with the WWE Championship.
Oh, so we're not even mentioning it at all. It's that important.
Go on. Just mention it.
A couple of things. If anyone who's watching, okay, no one's going to be in the audience, so they're going to have to do it from home. But People might need to dust off their signs from One Night Stand about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hashtag if Cena wins, we riot again.
Yeah, there's no rumours for Cena.
Other than he's going to win, which would be the ultimate pointless waste of Bray Wyatt. Again.
Pretty much it would be. But I think the way they've been pushing that angle has been absolutely amazing.
Well, of course it has. It's got Bray Wyatt involved in it. It's not going to be anything less, is it?
Cena has been also on point. All I'll just say to you is, I will discuss that possibly either next week or when we are closer to WrestleMania. But that is actually a match I look forward to seeing because of the build-up.
Well, I genuinely hope that it's allowed to be a decent match and, well, they don't bury him.
Yeah, there is talk of it being given it time. Definitely given it time. But anyway, that aside...
Okay, so that's not a rumour. So what is the last thing on the rumour mill then?
WWE Championship match.
The one involving the crowning glory of the Scottish Psychopath.
And this could be a spoiler, folks. So, warning.
Warning, potential spoiler alert. The biggest match of Drew's career up to this point.
Yeah. There have been arguments, or talks, about the results. Some are saying, let Lesnar be defeated, let's crown a new champion, and
No,
let's
you mean
do it.
All who have their brain in the right place and who are what doctors would medically call sane have been saying that.
Correct. I would say that. I want Drew to win.
Everyone wants Drew to win, with the possible exception of one Mr. B. Lesnar.
If the rumour comes into play, WWE, you will have so many fans upset, angry, and as much as they may hear it, a lot of people saying, we're going to cancel, but don't. This could be pushing it too far.
Yes.
They are potentially talking about doing what they did to Roman. The same thing on Drew, what they did on Roman.
Just for the sake of those of us that can't remember off the top of our heads, which is?
Having Drew lose at WrestleMania.
As long as they don't do to Drew what they did to the deceased, no longer able to be pushed joke, might as well just let him go to AEW now because you've killed him, artist formerly known as Ricochet. Because if they do that, frankly...
Nope, they're not going to
the
be
Monday
doing that.
Night Raw, the night after WrestleMania, will have a viewership of 3.
They are not,
and they will all have the surname McMahon.
They're not going to be doing that, right? And the idea is, if Drew does lose at WrestleMania, he will most likely be going back into title contendership at SummerSlam.
However, it's madness for Drew to lose.
Why will it be SummerSlam? Because the reason being, he could be in a feud with somebody else for costing him the match.
Oh, dear God, no. You can't be in a feud with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is fat, 50, and not a wrestler.
Nope. There is talk of having Rowan costing Drew the match.
Yes, because everybody wants to see that. Oh, wait, hang on, sorry, wrong word. Nobody in their right mind wants to even have a nightmare with that shit in it.
Because when Drew threw the stairs at the cage, possibly hurting Rowan's friend.
Oh, my days. What a load of crap.
Yeah.
Seriously, no. The match needs to go ahead. It needs to go 10 minutes. It needs to be the polar opposite of all normal Brock Lesnar matches.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be Brock throwing the absolute kitchen sink at McIntyre for 8.5 minutes. 27 German suplexes, 19 F5s, kick out of all of them, 1 Claymore kick. Thank you, new world champion. Goodbye.
And the rumour has it that Lesnar is against the idea.
Of course he is.
Of him
retaining. Ah.
Potentially.
Well, that's refreshing.
Potentially. Yeah. I know this is bad, but yeah. One match that hasn't been announced, and it needs to happen.
Go on.
We need Dolph Ziggler versus...
To retire? Oh, sorry.
Versus one half of Heavy Machinery.
And I'm guessing you don't mean Otis. I'm guessing you do mean Otis.
Yes. Because Otis snapped on SmackDown.
Regarding a certain interest of his.
Yeah, but then again, Ziggler got he got a little bit too close to the flame.
Ah, well, what can I say?
By showing pictures of him going on a date with Mandy Rose.
Yes.
At which point, Otis grabbed him, threw him down. Well, he went for a run off. He caught him, flung him while Dolph attempted to grab a chair, but went flying lessons from Otis with said chair, which is like, I got nothing. Where the hell is this going? Why is this with me? But then Otis picked up the chair, ready to kill him. Miz and Morris, who were in a match against him, decide to hit him from behind, catch his distraction, and Dolph runs off. Otis beats the living tar out of the tag team champions.
Nice.
He runs them both through the barricade.
Beautiful.
Then proceeded. Tuck is trying to calm him down. Desperately trying to calm him down. While he's holding a chair.
Yes.
And guess what happens? He doesn't listen. He belts them.
Absolutely.
And I mean, even I was a little bit squeamish. I was a bit weak in the knees.
Wow. Hashtag most over guy in the company.
Yeah, that match needs to happen. Anyway.
It does, yeah. Right, that's it for Rumour Corner. We don't actually know what the hell's going to happen. Any, some, none, or fewer of those things could actually happen. We just don't know. Everything's up in the air.
Right, the next topic, we were originally going to be covering a lot of, but we're not. I'm just going to be hitting the fine points of it, which is the biggest thing that's been affecting wrestling and the whole world.
Yeah, in case you literally live in a cave on Mars, in which you spend 18 hours of every day with your fingers in your ears, gently humming, and the other 6 asleep, you can't really have missed this.
Yeah, which is the coronavirus.
Yes, it is the thing which is basically stopping the whole world from happening.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Gone. Gatherings, gone.
Clubs.
Entertainment, gone. Leaving your house, unless you're someone like me who has a job that can't be done from home, gone.
You're being advised to work from home.
What?
The UK is being advised to work from home. Now,
unless you work in a supermarket like me. I can't.
Or you are a key worker. This is in the UK. Now, for around the world, I'm just going to be hitting these following points. If your country or your government is stating to work from home, it is heavily advised. If you are over 70 and as such, they do advise you to self-isolate. If you have underlying health conditions, please make work aware of it and you may have to self-isolate. If you're showing symptoms, please check your government website, check out, for the UK, the NHS website for all certain details. And in regards to the UK, and this one is a topic that has been pissing me the hell off on a massive scale.
I feel like my inner Bailey is coming out here. I need to refer to people as mindless sheep.
Right. And
because I completely agree with you, and it's peeing me off as well.
And this is in regards to the shopping. Shopping places, going to shopping places, like Tesco's and everything, they are having to implement certain rules and regulations on certain items, possibly limited.
No more than 3 of any item, and no more than 2 of restricted ones, like the ones that tossers keep buying 6 million of.
Yes, and what disappoints me in this is the fact that people are breaking the rules, and this is what I found annoying, is that when it's meant to be the elderly shopping, there's people still trying to force their way into shops.
The elderly and key worker hour for members of the NHS and the like who can't do it at any other time because they work 18-hour days, and the elderly who want to. Sorry?
Or even some of the NHS staff that are working 48 hours
a day
in emergency care.
Yes. The point being, the elderly who would prefer to self-isolate and would like to have the shop being empty so that there's less chance that they can catch anything, and, everyone else. And tossers are just ignoring it. And if you've done it, you're a twat. Hell? There's no two ways about it. You are a twat. Stop it.
Just stop it.
You have the IQ of plankton, and I'm frankly ashamed to be the same species as you.
I think even plankton has a heart in this case.
Yes, apologies to any insulted plankton. You have the IQ of the turd that my cat did 3 days ago.
I think even Mr. Krabs from the same show you're referencing would actually care for this.
Yeah, it's just retarded. Nearly as retarded as the idea of, I'm all right, Jack, I'm going down the pub because I'm not ill. Seriously.
Just don't even get me started on certain topics. All I'll just say to you is, if you want to rant at certain people who are not caring for others, check out Philip DeFranco on YouTube, because I will say he does an actual nice rant on certain people in America in regards to spring break, and I actually agree with the saying that he used there, and I'm going to use that saying in regards to the damn hoarders who are damn well being selfish and not actually sharing out rations. It's almost we're having to rations, which is, for God's sake, don't be stupid.
Yes. I think rule number 1 of Progress Wrestling is necessary to be implemented as a law in this country.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Seriously, stop and think about what you're doing. Do you need 900 tubs of hand sanitizer, 6,000 toilet rolls, and 8 tons of fusilli? Oh, and no, you don't, is the short answer. And while we're on that subject, if you don't mind, I've got a special sub-rant as a result of that.
What?
If your mate Dave is there in the supermarket and, he likes the spiral ones, but they've all gone, don't buy the gluten-free pasta instead, you fucking morons. You can eat that. The people who have to eat that can't eat the normal shit. Leave it for them. It's there for a reason, you plankton-brained gimboids. Likewise with any other free-from or deliberately doesn't contain something that you might be allergic to food. Do not buy it just because what you normally have, the version which has that thing that they're allergic to in it, has been sold out. People need it because if they eat the regular stuff, it will do pretty much the same job as the virus. Stop buying it, you fucking idiots.
Yeah. Right. That's the hoarders out the way.
I feel better for getting that out there.
No, that's the hoarders out the way. Let's get on to certain pharmacists who have been severely...
Oh, that cockend in London who started charging 20 quid for Calpol.
You know about it.
Yes. Guess what? Social media pressure. They run the news on telly a day later. We've put our prices back down. You're damn right you have, you fucking greedy pricks.
If I'm not mistaken, that is actually illegal. The fact that they got caught doing it and got it recorded, and literally during the recording saying, "Well, we don't care. We've been told by management. We've been told by management."
That should lead to that pharmacy, that pharmacist's license or whatever it is that they have. Is it a license?
It's not the pharmacy. It's the actual company that was being told.
Yeah, but it should lead to their license. I assume they have to have a license to do drugs and pharmacy and everything, and they should have it suspended. Just like any pub that stays open should have that pub license immediately suspended and never returned.
Pretty much. But the fact is, they were actually profiting off of people suffering. Now,
yeah, I know.
It's essential needs. You know, the fact that they were jacking up the Calpol, jacking up, the fact that,
10 quid for 16 paracetamol. I don't fucking think so.
Which people have been advised to take paracetamol over ibuprofen because there's been...
all of the rumours about ibuprofen being in any way bad for people with the coronavirus, by the way, according to the World Health Organization, is hogwash.
It has been hogwash to a degree, but there is some signs of truth of it that in some cases they did do an experiment that it did actually not go well with the people who were infected with the coronavirus. So there is a little bit of hint of truth of that in regards to it. But the best thing I would suggest is seek your medical attention and speak to your advisors. However, they also do state that if you have an illness that does require ibuprofen, still take it.
For God's sake, take it anyway.
Right? And the other thing is, be very, very careful of certain news outlets providing certain information because not all of it is correct. Especially
if you're talking about the tabloid press, next to none of it is. Only the stuff that suits their agenda gets printed, next to none of which is either correct or helpful. So take everything with as big of a pinch of salt as you can get, which we know isn't probably that big because he probably can't buy any fucking salt because Dave from Cheshire's fucking hoarded it all. But you get my point.
Yeah, but anyway, the point being is, in regards to the fake news stuff, I would recommend anyone who has got Now TV to check out John Oliver's, this week's, what was it? Last week, what's it called? Last week's This Week? Yeah. Last week's This Week, I believe it is, where he actually covers an American news outlet that did something stupid. Just all I'll say to you is they're saying to basically get, to confirm that you don't have coronavirus, breathe in heavily, hold your breath for a few more seconds, and then breathe out. That's how you get rid of the coronavirus. No, it fucking isn't.
Yeah, no part of that statement is true. That is almost as ludicrous as the British government's bullshit about, I don't know if you heard this, but about herd immunity, namely, let everyone catch it and then everything will be fine, which, by the way, flat out does not work if there is no vaccine, which, for the coronavirus, there isn't.
And it may not letting be everyone catch an entire year.
Just means that everyone who is susceptible in any way to being seriously ill from it will get seriously ill. It will put hundreds of thousands of deaths on the government's hands. And frankly, if it happens, they should be sued and sent to prison for every single one of them. It's the most ludicrous piece of advice I've ever heard.
However, there is people...
And that's saying something at the moment.
There is people recovering from it.
Oh, there are people recovering from it. But the point is, the whole idea of just let everyone catch it is batshit crazy, and quite frankly, I'm pleased that it got. Hold on a minute, what the fuck are you talking about? And laughed out of the room quite so quickly.
Yes, there has been talk of it. Basically, there is more people surviving it than are dying from it. However, it's not worth the risk.
Just like doing anything in public is not worth the risk. Seriously, the amount of things I've seen of people going in supermarkets and stripping the shelves clean, or people sitting in parks drinking beer going, oh, it's not going to affect me. Oh, seriously. Do you know what else probably won't affect you?
It may not affect
a bullet through the brain that you don't have. Go to your houses and fucking stay there.
It may not
until
affect
told
you,
otherwise.
Exactly. It may not be. It's not just about yourself. The fact is, this is where it's going to go into. We're going to go into social distancing, which is it may not be actually just for yourself to protect yourself. It's also to protect others around you, possibly even some loved ones as well. So the point being is, this is where social distancing comes into play. It is a massive point. The fact that they are trying to get people, they're trying to get the fact of how many people are getting infected, the curve of it, to flatten down. And this is where it's important. This is where people are in serious case. If they don't flatten it, there's going to be some serious questions that are going to be needed to be asked by current governments. There is one country who is currently having to do these questions right now, which is Italy. And I can honestly say, possibly many other countries probably do not envy Italy at this moment in time because of some of the questionable things they're having to do.
Yeah, in regards but you do realise, don't you, that the infection rate in this country is probably worse than Italy, but we don't know because the government won't fucking test anybody.
They can't test at the moment, but yeah.
No, they can. Yeah. They can quite easily get the tests and make them available, but they don't want to.
Yeah.
Because that would mean more tests would potentially mean more tests positive, and that would look bad on the numbers.
True, but at the same time, by people going for the test, could they expose themselves to the virus at the same time? That's what they're probably thinking as well. But anyway, that aside, social distancing is massively important because simply they need to flatten down the risk, the curvature of how many people are getting infected.
Yeah, you basically... The whole idea of distancing in general, namely staying 2 meters away from someone else, helps with this. Yeah. The further away you are, the less it is likely to transmit.
And if you are able to work from home. And this is the scary thing about it is, in case you won't know what some of the decisions that are being made, Italy are basically having to only provide vital care to selected people who are worthy of it.
But the thing is, right, they're in lockdown. You are not allowed to leave your house. If you do, you have to have a reason why.
Yeah. And
you get fined if you don't. I think Greece is the same. Why is that not happening here?
There is talk of if you have been told to self-isolate and you haven't, if you're not self-isolating, the fine is £1,000 for the UK. But anyway, that aside, the point being
not enough.
The point being is they are having to risk the fact that they're having to take into account of potentially giving care to someone who's younger and more healthy over someone who is older with health issues at the same time. They are basically having to make these decisions, which is disheartening.
Which is frightening, and I feel sorry for anyone who has to do it.
And these are potentially some of the decisions that they are having to do in Italy, and it is absolutely frightening.
Yes.
If anybody is interested in finding out more details in regards to the current news, we massively recommend you check out your government website, check out all the current details. I would say check out Philip DeFranco, who is covering news quite regularly. And like I said, with John Oliver's show, they even were originally back for regular weekly episodes. However, even they have stated that this is the last one for a while until the end of the end of
until everything calms down a wee bit. Yeah.
Pretty much. Until the end of the pandemic. But anyway, the point being is, multiple shows have been hit. You know, the fact that, you know, Fast and Furious 9, is being held up. Many movies are being held up. And
the BBC have
forward,
stopped filming EastEnders. That, you know, it's bad when that happens.
Pretty much.
And it's now only on twice a week, so that the existing episodes they've got left will last a bit longer before they run out entirely.
Correct. Couldn't have said that better myself. But anyway, that aside, I can honestly say the only thing I would recommend everyone, and John Oliver pointed this out, that a hamster on TikTok is giving useful information, which is to wash your hands regularly, if necessary, for at least minimum of 20 seconds. Sing Happy Birthday, sing the Big Blue House Goodbye song if necessary. Do whatever you need to do to wash your hands properly. And then if you're having to sneeze, make sure to do it either into a tissue, into an arm, into an elbow. Just basically
don't let it go straight into the air.
Into your hands.
And immediately, or as soon as you physically are within the same building as a sink afterwards,
yes,
go and wash not only whatever arm or elbow, whatever you sneezed into, but your hands as well.
Yes, correct. Because what I do find unusual, and this is, I've got to point this out, the idiocy, is the fact that we're not allowed to shake hands. We are meant to be touching elbows, is it?
Oh, I zoned out when they started saying that bullshit. I was just like, just don't touch each other, you fucking idiots.
Now, what makes me laugh is they said that as they says, oh, sneeze into your elbow. So if you sneeze into your elbow, are you having to greet each other with the same elbow that you just sneezed your arm into?
Yeah, exactly. It's just the latest in a long line of, they haven't fucking thought that through, have they?
Yeah. However, do that. I know certain people have been told to wear a mask if you think you are unwell and may have constant sneezes. Please wear facial masks. And be vigilant. Stay home if you can. And stay well and stay safe.
Essentially, what we need to add to this is big, fat, red, and then possibly black as well, marker pen line through if you can. Stay at home. Do not put other people at risk.
If possible. But anyway, and please, as much as we are going to be covering a bit of the subject a bit later, we know that if you're having to stay at home, it can affect your mental health.
It will affect your life, and yes, it may affect your mental health.
It will do. So please be vigilant. Please, if you do need to speak to somebody, you may be advised to speak to the internet, on a phone. You know, maybe reach out to people you haven't spoken to in a while, because they may very well need it. But we'll most likely cover that a little bit later on.
But in this day and age of social media and FaceTime and, everything else, and Skype and whatever, all the technology at our disposal, you might be on your own in the house, but you have no need to be alone.
Yeah. And just to point out, for later, after the last section, which is the future of the Burning Truth, when we get to plugs, that for this week is going to be massively, massively lower.
Reduced, yeah, okay. Are we moving on now? I think we've done enough.
Just for this week, it will be reduced. Right? Which is the future of the Burning Truth. Right.
Is that where we're going now, yeah?
That is where we're going. I'll cover them very, very quickly, which is, at the moment in time, and this is a review that I'm going to be doing myself, and possibly JB will do if he does read this book that I'm actually reading right now.
Right.
Which is Blood-Stained Canvas. And it's written by none other than Daniel J. Barnes.
Nice.
I can honestly say the book itself is for mature readers only, as it does contain sex, violence, and bad language. And I'll just read what it says on the back of the book.
And men in spandex tights.
Yeah, which is welcome to a bizarre, strange place where things may not make sense to you, the outsiders. Witness a sport, a circus, a way of life. Come with me as we delve into a world of lies, deceit, politics, a world of smoke and mirrors, a place for many lost souls, all searching for a purpose and yearning for acceptance in a make-believe world. For the majority, it is a short stay. For others, it is a slow, agonizing death, but it all happens on a blood-stained canvas.
Ooh.
The name of the book is actually Bloodstained Canvas. I haven't got through all of it yet. I have been reading a chapter a day in regards to it, and I have got to say it is absolutely amazing. And I will state, it is fiction, but there is some real details that are in this that are
a little bit close to the bone, a little bit realistic.
Yeah, possibly, is there some truth to it? But I can generally say, highly recommend. But then again, with Daniel J. Barnes, I would highly recommend any of his books, be it from Monsters Home to,
That's fair enough.
Is it Party?
But it's a wrestling themed book that has wider appeal beyond just, wrestling fans, to be honest.
This one has got for the wrestling fans, but I recommend if you're buying this book, don't just buy this book. Buy his actual collection.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Buy it
as a starting point and read that one. But when you've read that, read all the others as well. Yeah, of course.
The man has a talent for writing.
Oh, wonderful.
And that is all I'm saying right now, because
fair enough.
At the moment in time, I will say, yes, the book that I've actually got is signed by the actual writer, because he is actually a friend of mine.
What was that incredibly loud clanging? Oh, yeah, it's Matt Burns name dropping. Don't worry about it.
Right. And yes, there is an advertisement for UK Away in this book.
Stop it.
There is, and many, many others. And here's the thing. I'm not name dropping or anything. And this book, I am going to review it as openly as possible. And as much as I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I can, and a little bit difficult, this book has the only word I can use to describe how I'm currently going through this book right now is gripping.
You are going through it like a popular television streaming website service box set when you've got a couple of hours to kill and you're just like, I'll just watch one more episode. I'll just read one more chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be most likely the second we're off the air reading it.
All right. Cool.
It is that good.
Quick question.
Yeah.
On a wrestling-related book note,
yeah.
What is it with books with the word blood in the title that are about wrestling? Have you read... I'm going to have to Google this now. I think it's Paul O'Brien's Blood Red Turns Dollar Green.
I believe it's not yet, but it's something that is in my collection.
I was going to say it's a wrestling themed book. It's based on the death. It's a fictionalized version of the death of the territory system in America.
Yeah,
and just like this one, I think it's a trilogy. It might be 2 books, but I think it's a trilogy. And read all of it because it's incredibly well written and makes some salient points as well.
Couldn't have said that better myself. Now, let's move on. We are going for another part of the future of Burning Truth. We are going to be bringing back TBT games.
Because both of us are massive gamers. We've been playing lots just recently. If we do both have to end up being self-quarantined or self-isolated or basically just not going out, we're going to be playing quite a lot more. So we may as well give you our tips of the ones that we've played that we think you should play too.
True, and aside from that, we're also going to be bringing, but it's not going to be as like how we originally had it as a YouTube channel. It's just going to be part of a segment, part of the regular weekly schedule episode, possibly as a segment aside, or we could do specials where it could be a whole episode on.
Yeah, if we get a massive backlog of stuff that we want to recommend all of to you, every now and again we might just do a gaming or TV special, or books.
If it gets popular and you are with yourselves listening and you want to hear more of our gaming reviews or us talking about games more, let us know. We could end up possibly getting it reintroduced as a separate show. Who knows? But then again, that at the moment it'll be a segment. At the moment, we're also going to be potentially introducing another segment apart from TBT Games, which will be none other than TBT TV. Now, when people are saying, "Is that just TV shows?" No, it isn't. We're going to be we're using the name TBT TV because it sounds much better. Because originally we were going to say TBT TV / films or TBT films. No,
it's just. Yeah, it sounds better. It's more to the point. It's just TBT TV. But basically, live TV, films, DVDs, stuff off streaming services, box sets, anything that comes under the realm of something that you would watch on a television.
That you can watch on a television or soon to be watchable on a television.
Yes.
That's more of a better terminology. Why not?
Yeah, indeed.
That'll be possibly its own segment on regular weekly programs, and this isn't just because of the current situation with the pandemic issue
and the unknown future of live wrestling and wrestling in general. It's not just because of that. It's more a sort of evolution anyway, which has sort of been given a kick up the arse by the current circumstances.
Yeah, it's something that we've been planning for a long while. It's just something that we need to just pull the trigger on.
Yeah, and get on with it.
Yeah. And here's the next one. Future episodes being earlier than we originally have been doing it.
Yes, we all know it currently has been going out between 9 and 10 on a Sunday night, but frankly, that isn't working for us anymore. So
due to busy
we
schedules.
decided, due to constantly busy schedules of both of us, possibly less so in the immediate near future, but that's not the point. But so basically, we've decided we're going to change it up and make life easier for us, and make sure that we continue to provide you with content.
Correct. Which is there a set time that you're interested in potentially yourself?
Well, honestly, I was thinking a little bit earlier, but not too much earlier. So sort of tea time listening.
Potentially.
About 6 o'clock, maybe?
About 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Who knows? It could be in between.
Yeah.
In the
anywhere between about 6 o'clock and the normal kickoff time.
Yeah, I would say.
And once we get established into a routine, we'll probably set it at a set time. But it'll be a bit earlier than currently.
Yes. And if it does need to be later, probably 9 o'clock or something, we will state it if it does change massively. But at the moment, do bear with us. We are going to be earlier, and yes, we will be doing the audio discretion as soon as it starts because of the time frame, because we may be before the watershed.
So we will obviously try harder not to use, indiscriminate profanity, but we'll give the warning at the start simply because we can't promise we won't.
Correct. But anyway, with that, that's going to be a wrap up for this week. And as I said, I'm cutting down the plugs dramatically just for this week. All I'm just going to state is check out charities like Changes for Health and Wellbeing. There was another subject I was going to discuss about British wrestling involving the coronavirus. But if I do, it's almost like, me pulling the pin on a grenade.
Yeah, basically, if you do mention it, we're going to need most of a show to dissect it. So we're probably best off doing it next week or in the future when we've got a little bit more time.
Possibly. And it's something I'm going to discuss with JB just to see if it is something that is going to be airable.
And if
Because
so, we'll do it in the coming weeks.
we will do it in the coming weeks, but for the time being, we're holding off. Well, we're holding off more so because we're wanting to see where it goes. Some of the information and some of the news, but there's a good reason why we're doing this.
Yes, which anyway, will become apparent. But anyway, moving on for now.
Moving on, let's just get to the plugs. Check out charities like Changes for Health and Wellbeing, Changes Recovery Radio, Mind, Messy for Mind, Donna Louise Hospice Care for Children and Young People, Cancer Research UK. We can never give enough, and also be nice to anybody. If you can help anybody else, anybody healthy or anybody who can't go shopping, why not do a bit?
Yeah. If you have in any way can be of help to someone who, in these unique and trying circumstances, has to be stuck in their house and can't go out, be it, a Skype conversation, some FaceTime, going and doing their shopping for them and then dropping it off in a safe way. Whatever you can do, do it. Yes. Because, work on the principle that if the roles were reversed, you'd be happy if they did it for you. So,
correct.
Be the best kind of human being. Use compassion.
Correct. And aside from that, we also recommend you check out the lighter side of wrestling, which is none other than Botchamania, WrestleCraft, OSW Review. You're welcome, Matthew. Of course, you're welcome, RD Reynolds, and of course, OSW Lads.
Yep, nice one, guys. Thank you. As much as we are aware, you may struggle in these coming weeks to find brevity in things, but if anyone can, you guys can.
Let's find the light side. We, of course, recommend you check out some other podcasts, podcasts and broadcasts potentially. None other than Pull Up Pass Radio Show, where they talk things all geeky, potentially hosted by Magic Mark Adams. We, of course, also recommend you check out We the Independents, with an IE, not AY, which is, we've covered David Starr, Sugar Dunkerton, and everything. Think Wrestling, especially the Talk Wrestling interview series. We, of course, recommend you check out Train Pop Culture, which is currently on Podbean, but is going to be changing over. And there's now another podcast, which I do actually recommend you to check out on, I believe, I'm just getting a note of it, on Spotify and other places, which is Hatred Theory.
That sounds like it's not a very friendly place to go.
If someone has got some serious rage and wants to just talk, hear two guys talk about what they're currently hating in this week and vent it out, give it a check out. I will say some of the rants are absolutely funny because, yes, as we covered last week, the Burning Truth has had to buy some new equipment. However, due to listening to Hatred Theory, we almost lost said new equipment because I almost spat my drink out over new equipment.
Yes.
Not in shock and horror, in absolute damn laughter.
And there's a ringing endorsement, if ever there was one.
Definitely.
Don't forget.
Honestly, recommend them highly. And of course, we recommend check out Turnbuckle TV, check out your local shows. Of course, check out Babyface Wrestling, check out local shows. Check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. Check out, and also understand that we cannot be held responsible for external websites. And of course, check out our social media, which are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and have past episodes on Spotify. And that's it for this week.
That's pretty much it for this week. Thanks for listening.
But before we go, this is the wrap up now. We always stay well, stay safe. When we say that, we don't just mean it physically. We do mean it
we mean it mentally as well as physically. Yep.
And as we've stated, in this ongoing pandemic situation, mental health is going to be vital right now.
Yes.
please understand that, yes, you may find out you're more loved when people are reaching out for help. If you feel that you need the help, do take it or do ask for it. It is not a sign of weakness to ask for help or receive help at all. And we hope of course, it is okay to be not okay.
And
you could find out you're more loved than you realise.
Absolutely. So in this time of social distancing and not having much local wrestling to check out, unfortunately, this becomes even more important.
Correct. And how? If need be, even if you're not in the best shape of your life, just give somebody a call. Who knows? It may not even.
You never know how much you may help them without even realising it.
Correct. You may not be in the best mood as such, and yes, you may think it. The talk could actually end up doing something for you, even if you don't think it does anything for you. Even so, you could actually be helping the other person on the line as well. You never know.
So with that being said...
Yes. Good. And with that being said, of course, we always state at the end of every episode, please, everybody, stay well, stay safe, and until the next episode, please keep yourself safe at all times. Keep yourself staying awesome that you are. And of course, always check out your local wrestling, as we do say that normally. But in this regards to this week, we won't be saying that from now on for the time being. Please stay well and check on your immediate family and friends if necessary, while also keeping up with social distancing.
Sounds like a perfect way to end.
And with that, what?
I was just going to say, with that, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll hopefully catch you next week on the possibly earlier episode. But please stay safe. See you then.
More than anything else, stay safe. Okay, see you next week. Bye for now.
See you later.